Good afternoon.
Hi, good
Miss Voiselle and Miss Phillips. So nice to meet you. How are you?
It's good. It's so nice to meet you, Miss Phillips. I brought you a copy of my resume.
Super.
Just
Thank
in
you
case
so
you
much.
wanted an extra one on hand.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's good to meet you here. So I see that you were interested in our position as a billing coordinator that we have.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Wonderful. All right. So as we get started, would you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, well, I'm Miss Mariah. I'm from Statesboro, Georgia, so raised here, so I'm very familiar with y'all's company and organization. And I am a recent graduate of Georgia Southern University.
Wonderful.
So go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
I just completed my bachelor's in my interdisciplinary degree.
I see that. Good.
I have been working in Statesboro as a pharmacy technician at Walker Pharmacy and Boutique for the last 6.5, 7 years. So I've been working while going to school. So it's taken me a little bit long. Thank you. It's taken me a little bit longer to get through school, but I have found my passion with healthcare and with business, and so I'm ready to kind of jump into the field and get on the board with that.
Well, great. Well, can you tell me what attracted you to our company to apply for this billing coordinator position?
So one of the things that really resonated with me was in your mission statement, when you give the best quality care of cancer care to your patients, regardless of where they are on the spectrum of society. That really touched me. I come from a retail pharmacy background, so we see people from all walks of life, and one of our biggest things is customer service. That is our go-to, and we treat customers like family and try to give them the best care regardless of where they're from, and that just really resonates with me. I really am very customer service oriented, and that just drew me to y'all.
Great, great. Well, can you tell me a little bit about your experience, maybe your job duties that you have as a pharmacy tech, specifically maybe as they relate to business?
Sure. So as it relates to business, we do a lot of inventory control with the pharmacy. You know, medicines have to be ordered, they have to be come in, we have to keep track of that. But not only that, we have to work within a budget. And so every day, at the end of the day, we do have to look and see, run reports of, you know, this is how much our order cost of medicine that came in, and this is how much we made with how many prescriptions we processed, whether it was through co-payments or third parties or cash payments. And so we have to record that a lot. And on top of that, since we are a retail and privately owned pharmacy, we do a lot of answering questions that customers have with their charge accounts, because we've been around for about 25 years, and we have people who keep up with their accounts at all 3 different stores. And so a lot of times people will call in and say, hey, I want to pay on my account over the phone, or they'll send in checks, and we have to process that through at the point of sale and things like that. So I'm very familiar with paying those bills and making sure that those things get paid and processed through.
So what kind of software do you all use with that as it relates to customer billing and all?
So our main person that we use is Liberty Software, and the 2 programs that are under that are BZQ, which is our point of sale, our POS system, where we ring our customers up, and if and that's where we put through their checks or their card or cash payments on their accounts. And then RxQ is the system that we use to process insurance claims. So we run the prescriptions through the insurance, try to get that to go through. If there's a problem with it or an insurance rejection, it will pop up and let us know, and that's where we can go in and just keep track of the patient's medicines and see when and how we can get them resolved through the insurance.
I see.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
see. All right, good. Ms. Voiselle, what would you say are 2 or 3 of your strengths?
Some of my strengths. Well, I am problem solving, solution oriented. We get them all the time. I mean, you know, people call all the time, I've lost my medicine, or I'm not sure if I've paid on my account, or I've lost my statement. You know, things just come up every day, and it's like, how do we solve this? Or looking ahead and seeing a potential problem that could happen with a new system that we're using or a new way of we're doing things. I'm very much a prediction or proactive solution solver. Another strength of mine is I'm very compassionate. I'm very customer service oriented, I guess is a better way of saying it. Um, I love people. I love serving people. I
Mm-hmm.
love making people happy. And in a pharmacy, they're usually sick, so trying to get them to get a smile on their face or make them feel better brings me a lot of joy. And another strength of mine, I would say, is that I am very empathetic, or integrity. I have a
Mm-hmm.
very strong sense of integrity.
Good, good, good.
It's something that I am centered with, and just keeping, I'm very rule oriented with it, and I'm compassionate towards people, but I stick to a moral code.
Good, good. Well, certainly need that for billing coordinating.
Thank you.
Now, we know that none of us is perfect, so what would you say is maybe one area of improvement that you see for yourself right now?
One area of improvement that I know I have been working on is sometimes when there is a problem to arise, I see two or three different ways
Mm-hmm.
of solving it, and it's just deciding on which way to go. Option A, B, or C, or option A or B.
Mm-hmm.
Or organizationally, there may be one or two different ways that you can organize certain things, but I can see one way, but I want to stick to how the company wants things done. And sometimes I can be a little rigid in that, and seeing different things like that just is something that I have been working on, and just making that quick snap decision of this is how we're going to go it, this is how we want it done,
Mm-hmm.
and just following through with that.
Could you tell me a little bit about why you were interested in this particular position?
Yes. So why I'm interested in this position is I have a background with my interdisciplinary degree of business administration, and healthcare within public health as my minor. And I'm very interested in healthcare administration.
Mm-hmm.
That it's something that working in the pharmacy, I've gotten the pharmacy tech and the medical end of it in a medical setting, and I've had a touch of a little bit how the business is run. But through my business classes like accounting and management of retail pharmacies, it really sparked my interest in moving into more of the business field and
I
getting a little bit
see.
more experience in that. I love numbers,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. So both of the interests I have to do a lot of number in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted the opportunity to just grow my background and strengthen knowledge in more of the business field of administration.
All right. Well, thank you. Um, if you would tell me about a time when your workload was very heavy and how you managed that.
All right. Well, in the pharmacy, without a doubt, every year on January 1st, it is the first of the month, but also the first of the year, which is the busiest time of year. Insurance plans start all over. So
Mm-hmm.
your premiums start back all over and everything. And it's the peak of flu season.
Wow.
So we have a ton of people, like in any first of the month, that are due and all that. And so the biggest way of dealing for me with that is prioritizing what needs to be done first. Who is here right now and who is here first? And getting that taken care of as quickly and efficiently as possible. And
Sure.
part of that is working with my team, and you have to just speak up and say, hey, this is who I have there first, and just taking that lead.
Sure. Sure. Um, Now, following up on that some, in your resume you stated that your degree is in the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies.
Right.
So, could you elaborate a little bit more on some of the coursework that you have that would benefit our organization?
Sure. So the way that the program was set up is, within these concentrations, you have certain classes that you have to take, the upper level classes. And so I was interested in accounting as
Mm-hmm.
one of them. And I also took management classes as well as business administration.
Mm-hmm.
So all three of those combined, it really kind of sparked my interest, not only with understanding how accounting works, because it is very tedious
Right.
sometimes with accounts receivable,
Mm-hmm.
assets, and liabilities, but it's also with the administration, what business administration part of it, how you organize things or how you get things rolling, and who's the manager and who does the manager answer to, and all of that, and just managing. And a lot of it was also managing budgets and money and watching the money and how it is being spent.
Right. Right. Okay. Good. So as we sum up this, why should we hire you?
Well, I am very customer service oriented, just like y'all have said that you are here as well. I care about my customers. I have a broad, range of knowledge within the pharmacy. So I'm very familiar with medications. We have people who are cancer patients as well. And I'm a quick learner. So I am a quick study. If there's something I need to read up on, I will go to my computer, find some of the latest articles, read up on it. I can regurgitate it pretty quickly within the next day or two. I mean, I learned the pharmacy shelves within a week, and that was the medicines, name brand, and generics. So I'm a fast learner, and I'm very passionate about the healthcare industry, like y'all are as well, and providing the best care and the newest technologies to beating cancer. I mean, we all want to see a cure for cancer one day. And so I think I would be a great asset with my interdisciplinary background. I'm not just a nurse or have a healthcare, background and interest. I also have this business interest that could really serve and help people at your company.
Well, thank you. That's good. So as we close, do you have any questions for me?
Well, one of the things I wanted to know is, what's your typical workday like? Do y'all start off with a group meeting, or?
At the beginning of the week, we have a team meeting for anything that would be coming up that particular week and anything that needs to be handled. But our hours are 8 to 5. You get an hour for lunch for that. And of course, we want to make sure we've got coverage.
Right.
But you would be working mainly behind the scenes, obviously with customers, but a lot of that tends to be on the phone or working with companies for inventory and all through the computer and that kind of thing, mainly with our team.
Okay. All right. And another question I had, y'all had mentioned that you are dedicated to growing and improving your staff and physicians on their education and everything. How do y'all evaluate and what kind of training would I receive if I were to be in this position?
So we want to make sure that everyone is supported as much as possible. In the beginning, weeks and months, you would of course have support and training with a mentor as you learn the system and how we do things here. We certainly want you to come to us with any questions.
Right.
And then there's a yearly evaluation that we'll go over, so you'll know all of the details of that up front, and you'll have an opportunity to work on those areas before the evaluation.
Well, that's great. Well, I think those are all the questions that I really had for y'all. Your website is amazing. It was very, informative, and it answered everything pretty clearly that I had. So I want to thank you for having me here today.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you. It's
great
to meet you too. Thank you so much. Is it stopping?
Yeah, stop.